Hi, I'm Boruch Rabinowitz, making a difference for the Jewish people. And today we're doing the 48 Ways, number 12 of the 48 Ways, which is from Ethics of Our Fathers, Pirkei Avot, the 6th chapter, the 6th Mishnah. And it says, Pilpul HaTalmidim, teaching students. I mean, literally it means questions and answers of students. And this is an area that we need to acquire and to develop in order to really live fully and really to understand Torah and really to understand the Almighty. The main point here is that we need to become a teacher. And we appreciate that students will make us sharper. That when you teach something, we get questions and answers, and that will sharpen our understanding of the wisdom and whatever we're teaching. Rabbi Hanina said that if I learned a lot from my students, he said, I learned a lot from my students and even more from my colleagues, but I have learned most of all from my students. So you see that the relationship between students and teacher is very powerful and it's very necessary. So what is teaching? It's not reciting, a bunch of facts. It's not preaching. It is really essentially sharing your appreciation of wisdom or a topic so that the other person gets it. You want to transfer your appreciation to another person. And the natural reaction of the other person when you engage them is that they will ask you questions. And when they ask you questions and you work to get answers, that will sharpen it will sharpen your appreciation and understanding of the topic. So why really should you be a teacher? Most people, who am I? What do I know? I can't teach. I'm not like this professor or this great rabbi. Who am I? What am I? Which is a terrible mistake, because the fact is that no matter how much you learned, you've gone through life and you've developed lessons and appreciations that are very important for other people. So really, you should take some time and sit down and make a list of at least 5 things. Make 10 things that you really appreciate, that you know, and that you can share it with another person. Just having that list of knowing what you know and knowing what you can teach is very powerful. But more than that, it's really an obligation to teach. Can you imagine if you were walking by a baseball field and you saw a kid holding the bat the wrong way and he's trying to hit the ball and you know how to play, you know how to hold a bat, and you just feel it's your obligation to show them, put your hands this way, and then you'll hit the ball much better. So it's the same thing with life. If you see people are miserable and you have the secret of happiness, if you see that people have certain bad attitudes and you know that a certain attitude is very important to live life and you can teach that to a person, whatever it is, we have a moral obligation, right? If we we have a moral obligation to do that. I remember that when I was in college, I was taking psychology, and I had a statistics professor. And most of the psychology majors were afraid of statistics. Some people really liked it. They were the weird guys. No, I'm just kidding. But most of us were very scared of statistics. And we had an advanced statistics course. We all came into the class. We were frightened. Oh, my gosh, what are we going to do? It was a small class, relatively speaking, about 30 people. The professor comes in, tells a couple stories. He brings in donuts, coffee, apple cider, hot apple cider, tea and coffee and drinks. And he tells us to have something to eat, have something to drink. That was 15 minutes. He warmed us up. And then he taught the lesson. And at the end of the class, he did the same thing. We had refreshments after. Everybody knew that material cold because he relaxed us. And he was able to get the information into us because it lowered our guards. And it was just, it always stands out as what a beautiful professor he was. So why do we need this? Really, in order to be wise, to understand life, we must emulate the Almighty. And one of the 613 mitzvahs is to be like a creator, creating others and giving others wisdom, helping form them, giving them meaning, giving them a deeper appreciation of themselves is like being like God, which is very heavy. And you become a teacher, right? And when you do this, when you become a teacher, it gives you vitality and it gives you life. On a deeper level, the reason why we need to teach is that, as I said, that we learned a lot from our teachers, but more from our students, that the Almighty pays measure for measure. If we teach His children, He comes to teach us. And until you teach, you can't really see the truth. You can't really see reality. It helps us possess what we know, clarify what we know, and it's really our moral obligation. Thank you. If you like this little snippet on the 48 ways, please share it with a friend. Check out my website, BoruchRabinowitz.com.